Even if you had the money, you couldn't find electricity to run your house. Today, we're in a situation where we are being told that the reality is we're not paying enough for the electricity we use. Once again, we have this situation where it is only those who are obeying the law who have to carry this burden. Those who are not, those who are doing illegal connections, they don't have this headache. But for those of us who are obeying the law, paying our bills, it looks like the burden will have to increase. But the question is, in this case, can you afford it? Unlike transporting yourself to work where you don't get the option, can you actually afford to electrify your house if the tariffs are increased by anything close to what is being proposed? Can you afford it? I remember during Doomsaw, the real cost of not having lights on
was massive.
It was huge. Look, I will never forget how I used to spend about back then, our CD was a bit stronger. So I would spend about 500 CDs and buy 5 insulin pens, put them in my fridge. And then for 2/3 of the week, there's no power. By the time I'm ready to use it, it's been out of the cooler for too long, and I can't trust its efficacy, so I have to go and buy more. Meanwhile, normally 1 pen would last me 8 days. So 5 of them in a pack for 500 CDs would have lasted me 40 days. 40 days of medication down the drain just because the lights didn't come on. So Doomsaw was real, and the cost was oppressive, not just on people like me, but think about those who were depending on surgery and operations and things that required electricity. Think of those who run businesses, cold stores, who just couldn't operate, who lost money because they were losing product. Think of those who literally had to shut down their businesses because they didn't have the electricity to run their sewing machines, their hair clippers. These are everyday Ghanaians. If the prices of electricity go up, can we afford it? And if we can't, can we afford the alternative of Doomsaw?
I think it's the point that was raised that actually got me. To be fair, we have been irresponsible since 2019. For a state that first said we're doing automatic adjustment and moved on to quarterly review, while we decided that we're not going to touch it, and actually ended up reviewing it downwards when everybody was telling you that the cost was rising, so we needed to push it up. Today, what are they demanding? There's a general theme that runs through most of the demands by these, what they call utilities. And ECG made the point clearly. They say in 2019, when we last touched it, inflation was 8%. Today, it's 23%. They talk about exchange rates. They talk about the dollar and compare it to what's currently happening. They move on to talk about the metals and other things that they need to deliver the power that you want so you don't complain. All of those things have gone up. And actually move on to talk about structures that they want to put in place to make sure that they deliver at the rate that you want them to deliver, but yet they are unable to do so. Investments that have to be made, whether they like it or not, and how they ought to function. When they tell you this story, it doesn't sound like they just want to be profligate or they just want money for wanting money's sake. They're basically saying that we demand the money or we are asking for the money merely to survive, because we are barely surviving. In fact, some even indicate that we are very broke, and unless you want us to grind to a halt, we cannot continue on this path. When you listen to all the things I say, I mean, it is so much sense in there. Justified claims, rational, justifications that they are putting out there. Nasikano, that's the other person who's supposed to pay. The consumer has been bombarded with a lot of all the other pressures today. So to me, yes, I mean, of course, I'm not willing to entertain very high increases. But if there is a way to give them something that will make them still stay in business, because we know the alternative is far more dangerous. The alternative of not having these utilities running. The alternative of having UCG saying that, hey, we don't have money to run, so go and buy your own power. Go and buy generator. Go and buy candle. Go and buy all the other alternatives that can be put on the table. Is way more scarier. So, I mean, it's an uncomfortable position I find myself, and I'm sure many too. But it's almost like, well, then I need to make some final, if so, sacrifice to let these people run and give me power. But why would I get the money to do that? Because every corner, people are pulling the money from you. Everything is pulling extra money. They ask yourself, what do they think we get the money from? The pressures that are supposed to be on the ordinary person, with a family, with responsibilities, transportation, your kids, school fees, straight to every other thing that's coming up, including feeding. Now, so they are precious. And it sounds like a bad time to even have a conversation like this. But why didn't we have the conversation in 2019? If we had dropped it, let's say 10%, we wouldn't be doing or be asking for the maximum numbers that they are talking about now. At some point, we should admit we were irresponsible. So, yes, some contribution, yes. But I'm not willing to go to the high increases some of them are demanding.
Now, if political power was really meant to help transform a country, we would have realized that a decision to suspend the automatic adjustment formula was poor.
Yeah.
Because what that would do is that you're transferring the problem or you're postponing the problem you're faced with. Why? Because eventually you would have to solve it. It's just like the man who drinks away his problem, only to wake up and realize that he's still faced with the same problem. What do? You face it. Well, we said we could actually reduce tariffs. We reduced it in 2019, but haven't reduced it somewhere in 2018. What you could have done was to go with automatic adjustment formula.
Yeah.
If we had done that today, we wouldn't be here talking about 148% increase proposal. Okay. Now you've raised a question. I mean, you've asked a question. My answer simply is, the Electricity Company of Ghana must be efficient for all of us to enjoy uninterrupted power supply. What they have done with this presentation is to tell you why I cannot give you uninterrupted power supply. If you do not reach a compromise and agree on levels that can enable them operate efficiently, the next minute the conversation would be, but we told you.
Yeah.
In fact, the MD of the Ghana Water Company, Dr. Clifford Brahma, has consistently said to all of us that you do not expect me to run profitably under the circumstances I operate. He said, if I had my own way, I would sell to the industrial consumers and not to the domestic consumers because they will pay me more. If I had my own way, I would increase it. I wouldn't take water to the villages that I have to serve because I would get nothing out of it.
The argument that NEPCO also makes that most of my customers are lifeline customers. And yet you expect me to, that means I have to treat them below the bar and treat them as people that I'm giving very little to, they pay very small. And yet you expect me to be profitable. You expect me not to accumulate debt. But who is paying for the rest? They are not only lifeline customers, they are scattered around the place. The cost of transporting the electricity to them is way expensive, which means they should have been paying higher.
Thank you. Now, is it true that inflation today is at 23.6%?
Fact.
Is it true that the cedi has lost value against the dollar? Is it true that fuel prices have gone up?
Certainly so.
If all these factors are true, then it would only make sense that you do what? That you have to pay more for electricity tariff. Government has talked about, the cap system and how they are working around it, and in fact, per their own analysis, we could even have a reduction. But I say let's tread cautiously.
Yeah.
And
don't give false hopes to the people.
We shouldn't give false hopes. But this is where I come in to make this point. I started this morning by saying it. Look, when people, you read that letter from, your council, that is prepared to give people reliefs. Under the circumstance, what we are going through, what you need to do, first of all, is to ask yourself that simple question. Which area can I touch that would positively impact the whole population?
Yeah.
If I reduce taxes on petroleum products, if I am prepared to let go 1 billion Ghana cedis,
And transport fares drop.
what would that mean for the Ghanaian who is struggling today, who is complaining?
Mindful of the fact that transport is your highest contributor to inflation.
To inflation under the circumstance. That's the first thing you talk about. We've talked about movement. I mean, look, one of the things that we all need when it comes to commodity flows is movement. And movement over here is just transport. Yeah. So that is a major factor. The food inflation we talk about, because transport fares are also going up. So why don't you say, I am prepared to let 1 billion Ghana cedis go? The last time we brought the distinguished Professor Noel Tego, the man who designs the syllabus for the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants globally, the vice president. He was here in studio. What did he say? He said, hasten slowly in getting out of COVID-19.
The recovery path.
The recovery path. Let us hasten slowly. You ask yourself, what are we talking about as a country? We're talking about the construction of 111 hospitals. He says, hasten slowly. That is not what you need under the circumstance. What you need is to protect livelihoods.
Yeah.
What is most important today for the Ghanaian populace is their livelihood. Yes, health is very important, but they're telling you, under the circumstance, we have facilities, equip those facilities, and we'll be good to go. We will manage until you build more. What economic sense would it make that you have districts around, all of us, very close, and you say, I want to build a hospital in each district? Look at, Ayawaso North, Ayawaso East, Ayawaso Central.
You can't even find a place to put the hospital anyway.
So what's the problem? Look at Ayawaso West. Yeah. Look at Medina. Look at Adenta. Why do you want to? Why are you thinking of building government district hospitals in areas where there are private facilities that can actually attend to these people? Mm-hmm. So begin to look at your expenditure, your priorities, and let the Ghanaian know that, look, we are all in this together. And when the president says we know how to bring back the economy to life, Ghanaians would bear with you when they can see that their lives are better. How would they realize that their lives are better? When you begin to tell them that I am cutting down on taxes.
Yeah.
After all, today we are paying e-levy. That would give you some revenue. So if you go and reduce taxes on petroleum products, you lose nothing. I've heard the conversation about how do you expect us to run the country? In 2014.
But with that e-levy, we're running the country.
I'm coming. I'm going to make a point.
Before ESLA, we're running this country.
Thank you. I'm going to make a point. Anthony Doku wrote a letter, 2014, yes, April 2014 or 15, to the then Deputy Chief of Staff, the Special Task Force, said, per their estimation, we lose an estimated, listen carefully, 36 billion Ghana cedis at the port. 36 billion Ghana cedis at our ports. And so we set up a committee.
Way more than e-levy.
Way more than e-levy.
Yeah.
So you see, the problem we face in our country is not unavailability of funds. The problem we face in our country is our laziness to look for those funds. But how do you expect things to change? And I agree with Leonard, David Ofosu-Dotte, when he says the very people that are expected to help solve our problems are detached from the problems. We insulate them because we believe that if we insulate them, that is the more reason they would help solve our problems. Unfortunately, he who feels it knows it. And so today, because our people
doesn't feel it,
doesn't know it. So, I say, all the reasons Electricity Company of Ghana has given makes sense to me. We cannot afford to let them collapse. But as it makes sense, it is also difficult for me to accept to pay under the prevailing conditions. So, if we want an interrupted power supply, which we need, something must give. That thing is not ECG. That thing is the taxes. We know what is creating the problem.
Yeah.
We know what is creating the problem. So let us tackle that problem and stop this going around in circles.
Let me ask a couple of questions. There's something on my mind. I need the numbers to see if it works out. So this year, what's the budget deficit that we're expecting? What's the gap we need to close?
37 billion.
37 billion Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And we say we are going to close it by what? Reducing expenditure and also with things like the e-levy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we said we're going to cut expenditure by 20%. I don't know if we've actually done that.
Yeah, we said we're going to do that.
We said we're going to do that. Okay. Then we're relying on the e-levy. We still haven't really worked out the numbers for the e-levy yet to see whether we will be getting this 4.something billion.
4.5 billion.
4.5 billion. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to draw attention to another danger in the power sector. Even if ECG gets their wish list and the tariffs are increased, we could still be seeing the potential for doom so. The proposed budget for the energy ministry this year is 5.64 billion. Okay, 5.64 billion. Of course, they will be spending this on all kinds of things, including, oil and gas, upstream, downstream, all of that. But a significant amount of that will go towards the generation and distribution of power. Okay. So the question I'm asking myself right now is, if we have to close the gap, 30 what billion?
7 billion.
37 billion CD gap. What will we sacrifice? Already we've seen instances where salaries are sometimes delayed. Payments for goods and services are often delayed. Look, right now, there are parents who are sending food to their children in school, free SHS. Because schools, even the top tier schools, are unable to feed their children 3 times a day. Some of them anyway. This is all happening right now. Government is demonstrating that it's not so easy to meet their obligations, especially meeting them on time. So at what point will we fall behind on our payments for things like gas from Nigeria? At what point will we start falling behind? We still import crude. At what point will we start falling behind? So even if ECG is able to collect all their tariffs, are we still not at risk of doom so?
From the generation point.
Yes. And if that is the truth, if what I'm saying is anywhere near true, is it not in the interest of the managers of our energy sector, the government of Ghana, to start preparing our minds? Look, let me tell you, I've said this earlier. I can withstand any hardship if I know the day it will end. If I know when it will end, I can survive.
So you plan for it.
That's it. But who can withstand hardship indefinitely? Who? So this should not be an indefinite problem. We would like to know that people, these people that we are paying and putting in V8s, they are actually sitting around tables and thinking into the future, and they can see and project that, look, this is when this will end. Mm-hmm. This is when we'll be able to balance ourselves. This is what we are doing to ensure that we can pay our bills. But you see, we have this strange government where everything depends on one person, Ken Oforiatta, to decide when he will pay. You can have your budget approved and everything, but it depends on the finance ministry when your money will come through. So who is having these conversations? What is the plan? What's the project plan to get us out of this hardship? Anyway, look.
Talk of Oforiatta.
Yes, speaking of the finance minister, he has been talking about all of these concerns that Ghanaians have.
We will never have done senior high school if we listened to other people. That's 400,000 lives now, that have a chance to do something. We would have stopped short at e-levy because of the noise, and suddenly we have a tax handle that will be phenomenally important for the country. So we need to look at that.
Yeah. So they
It's
didn't
noise,
listen
eh?
to the noise. They didn't listen to our noise. That's why they were able to do free SHS. Yeah, and e-levy. Yeah,
Well.
yeah. Okay, look, this thing is not really up to us, is it? It's up to you. This is your show. We want to know what you think. Oh, by the way, quick intervention. I think Ghana Gas says they can now provide all the gas we need, so they don't need to go shopping in Nigeria. Yes, at what cost?
It's
At
important.
what cost?
Now that we know that the Jubilee fields, we are not getting free gas by the end of the year.
From Talo. So, yes, how much is it going to cost us? And where's the money coming from? All right, so call us, please. 0302 216 541, 055 111 Let's talk. Let's figure our way through this thing, okay? What would you prefer? To actually fork out more money for electricity, or to keep paying what you're paying now, but maybe go without as much electricity as you have become used to? 0302 216 541, 055 111 997. Okay, everything is going up. We would like to know your experiences, how you're coping, how you're planning. Maybe we can learn from you. I think we have Peter on the line from Teshi. Peter, good morning.
Yeah, Kojo.
Thanks for calling, Peter.
Yeah, morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Are you sure you are very well?
Well, I mean, God is in control, so I stick to my answer. Amen.
I wanted to ask you a question. Kojo, is ECG are saying that the 3 days that the government give us, is it 2019 for COVID-19? Are they saying that they have not paid the money, so that's what they are factoring into that increment?
Well, I don't think that's what they're saying. No, I don't think they're making.
So that one is not part of it.
They haven't said that at all. No.
So does it mean that the government have paid all those money before the ECG is broke again?
I'll have to check, Peter, and get back to you. I don't have the answer readily. Yes, I'll have to check because they didn't mention it.
You are saying something about our finance minister. When they ask him question, you just look at the way he answered the questions. And he will be talking like he forgotten some of the words, or maybe he's new to the thing that they are asking him. Yes, when the man asks him, at times you will say that, what do you say? And you are saying about this. So, I mean, this man, we don't have anybody to change him again. He's the only person that will just continue Nana Akufo-Addo to finish. We have a problem. We are in seriously problem. When you say Afua, because now I find it difficult to buy a rice of 25 bags. I find it difficult. Now, if I go now, it's only 5 bags, 5 kilo. That's what I normally buy now. I am struggling, but still I can buy it. Charlie, I can buy. Getting food, 2 square meals a day is a problem.
Yeah.
So have a nice day.
Have a nice day, Peter. Thank you for sharing. I'm sure you can relate. Or even if you can't, still call us. 0302 216 541 055 111 997. Uncle John is in Sakumono. Uncle John, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Uncle John.
Okay, my brother. You are going to pay 20% of water, and then 48%.
Uncle John, can you reposition yourself a bit? The line keeps breaking.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can just find another position. Let's see if that will improve the
Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
I'm saying you are going to pay 300% of whatever, and then 148% to electricity.
That's the proposal.
Hello?
Go ahead, please.
But paying 20% for welfare is problem. Look, go to a tomato overhead and ask why printer back. It costs 100,000 Ghana cedis before you go in for insurance. I think Mr. Emola didn't try. He didn't make any expensive maintenance cost to that 20%. You see, electricity are less their cost. Water also. But drivers, in fact, if you buy 10 gallons of petrol, you pay tax, government tax, 1.2. 120 Ghana are calculated. So 20% they are giving as people are talking. Are you going to pay 300% for electricity, water, and then 148% for electricity? Can you live in Ghana? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Uncle John. Wow, that's some interesting analysis there, right?
Yeah.
Kwame is in New Bawe. Hi, Kwame. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for calling us, Kwame.
Yes, concerning the electricity, I live in my area for about 3-4 years now. Some of the street lights have been on. Daytime, nighttime. Daytime, nighttime. I can count about 10 light poles which are always showing this thing. So, if they take time, they can eliminate their waste. I called them one time, they told me it's the assemblyman's business. Oh, well, I gave up.
Yeah, the waste is also a problem. Thank you, Kwame. Eric is in Soko. Is that right? Hello, Eric.
Yes.
Yes, where are you calling us from?
Soko is around Banana Inn.
Wonderful. Talk to us, Eric.
Okay. What I want to say here this morning is that I don't understand this government. They promise something that when they come to power, they will change Ghana. You understand? And right now, what we are seeing is a problem. I don't get it because if you look at 2014, 2015, 2016, and what they are saying, as if when they come to power, they will change things for Ghanaians to have peace. But look at their first 4 years. They live extravaganza life like Ghanaians. We are rich people. When they are going a function, you see them with a lot of cars. And my problem is the president haven't, take a bucket to, like the way the poverty in around, like in our areas, you can take a bucket of water to the bathroom and bath. The president haven't done that before because he has, from his infancy, he has lived in a rich home, traveling here and there. But if you look at President Obama coming to university in Accra, being in a truck, then you can see the way the president is living. Be in a private jet from Accra to UK, US. They didn't think about the poverty in Ghana. This is so much. I don't get it. Because everything, when you go to the market today, you buy milk, a tin of milk, it's 5 cedi. You go, it's 5 cedi, 50 pesos. I don't get it. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, Eric. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. To be fair, I think we must be fair to both presidents. That we've had hardships under both of them. So I don't know whether their backgrounds made a difference. We had Rumso under Mahama. We had private jets under Mahama too. We had V8s under Mahama. And we have them under Akufo-Addo as well. So I think the fundamental problem is with our politicians, Nana is in Adenta. Hi, Nana. Good morning.
No, not Nana.
Sorry?
No, not Nana.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Your line is quite. It's not very clear. So we're struggling to hear you. Nana. Oh, that's wonderful. Hello, Nana. Thank you for calling us. Oh, yeah, na.
But what's someone to do? I want to wish you when you say I.
Oh, what's the man? I mean, sure.
Okay. Now, this morning, I am asking, has the electricity company, has they started even applying their new disease, whatever, tariffs, because I work with the electricity. At our maximum capacity, we use 3 cities a day. But now, I think we are below capacity.
Okay.
And we bought 40 cities just last Friday. And yesterday, we have to buy another time.
Wow.
And we work 5 days in a week. And because of business is not going on well, so even these days, we go 3 days, 2 days, 4 days. We don't even go on the usual 5 days. But we bought 40 cities last Friday. And yesterday, we have to buy another one. So this Ghana, the politicians, they do what they want to do. That is it. All the politicians, not this government alone. All of them, they do what they want because they have the power. What will you do? And Ghanaians, we don't want any wahala for our place here. Where are we going? To Burkina, Togo, Ivory Coast, or to the Gulf of Guinea? That's it.
There's nowhere to go, Auntie Nana.
You see, so they are taking us for granted. Left with me alone. Nobody will go to the polling station to vote anybody. We won't save it. Then the whole world will know. Why is this the African government? They take our leadership to be our weakness. You see, some time ago, they were talking about somebody saying who and this and all these things. If you push the people to the wall and they are forcing to come out, what do you think they will do?
That's an important question you are asking, Auntie Nana. Thank you so much for calling us. A lot to think about there. All right, let's go to Latte Kuyapim. Papa and Sons on the line. Papa, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? God is in
How
control.
is historian Amwa?
He's around. Ancestor Amwa, he's around.
And my brother, Samuel Odame.
Yes, Samuel Odamwell is here too.
Is he a control? Electricity and water. He won't increment. My question is it about the free water and the free electricity that we got that has led to this increment that they want? That's the question that I'm asking you. You see, it's so because the president made us aware that they are paying that amount of money to ECG and water. So if the electricity and water are saying they won't increment, then there's something wrong there. I heard World Bank also gave Ghana government, I think, $25 million or $25 billion or so. Correct me if I'm wrong. For this COVID thing. Correct me.
The amount is we'll have to correct the amount in a minute. But yes.
I know you can do it. The thing is, sometimes I'm really surprised about this current government because you go like, you have the men, and you have the men, and the men can't think through to solve our problems. You want to increase electricity and water. Meanwhile, people don't have work to do. Those who are working to another problem. Right now, as I'm paying $500 a month, and when they increase it, I'll pay like $1,000 too.
It's hard though, Papa. I know what you're saying. All right, let's talk to Nana in Seko City. Nana, good morning.
Good morning, Kojo.
Thanks for calling us, Nana.
Thank you. You see, what I want to say is that this economy that we are running by this finance minister is going to kill us. Look, not long ago, you introduced e-levy. And I can tell you, e-levy has impacted in every facet of our life. You travel from my community to Kumasi. Previously, we were paying 18 cedis. Now, as you speak, it has moved to 35 cedis. And you want to increase electricity by how much percentage? 148. That is serious. So what I want Nana Akufo-Addo government to do is to gather his cabinet and put it in their face that, look, the economy is hard for Ghanaians to survive. People who receive monthly salaries are crying. But come to my community here, 85% of the citizens here, they have nothing to rely on at the end of the month. If you go to Kumasi, similar situation prevails there. So, can't NPP gurus, the economists among NPP, speak to Nana Akufo-Addo that the kind of economy that is running is going to kill Ghanaians? I'm sad. And every day, we don't hear any positive news. All that we hear is our hardship aggravating. The water company is also thinking of 300+%.
Yeah.
You see, to me, I will suggest to Nana Akufo-Addo that he, in particular, would be remembered for the kind of hardship he is sending Ghanaians through. He made all manner of speeches before he assumed power. But right now, it appears Nana-Addo doesn't listen to radio and television anymore. He don't hear the cries of Ghanaians. Where are the Kofour people? Can't Nana Akufo-Addo reshuffle these redundant ministers? This finance minister, I can tell you, there are better managers of economy within NPP than what this man is doing. Is it because he hails from Nana Akufo-Addo's family, and for that matter, they have some connections that Nana Akufo-Addo benefits, and for that matter, he has seen no need to reshuffle this man? To be frank, I need to cry. Nana Akufo-Addo pioneer.
Wow. Nana, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Let's go to South La. Here's Chidiak. Hi, Chidiak. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks for calling.
In the abundance of waters, the fool is tested. Free gas. Free gas to buy products. We don't buy it. Free. And then water. Free flowing to the sea, ocean. Just about 60 kilometers, transporting it to the city. We are thirsty of water. We don't have electricity. Free buy gas. They don't even buy the gas. The educated elites are letting this country down. Ghana is a rich country, but we have bad leaders, and we'll continue suffering. No future for our generations, our children. What have they got to come and take? Nothing. So sad. Thank you.
Thank you, Chidiak. I think he was trying to say TC Council. Answer a comedy. Harvey is in Tesano. Hi, Harvey. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Chief. How are you?
I'm very well, Harvey. Thanks for calling us.
Fantastic. Chief, I think personally we know what's wrong. We are well aware what the issues are. What we've done is we've always looked the other way. We've actually elected incompetent people, and they have appointed thieves. And the thieves are capitalizing on that. It's very simple. I mean, when you think about it logically, Because at every given time, when you hear any minister or CEO of wherever being interviewed, you realize he's fabricating figures. What they're narrating doesn't actually make sense. And the media men, what I find very, very irresponsible about the media men, you guys don't even interrogate them properly because these guys are enriching themselves. You live with somebody, and all of a sudden they are appointed as CEO or minister of something, and they go from using their little VW Golf to using a brand new electric Jeep. And then they move from the neighborhood, and you find out they move to Trasaco Phase 2. Meanwhile, they used to live in Abeka with you. And all of a sudden, you see, the truth is, if somebody doesn't have sense, if you appoint a person as the CEO of whatever, they still don't have sense. And that is what we've done. We've just appointed so many useless people because we've elected so many useless people. And what we are doing is we have ordinary people justifying the level of nonsense that useless people are putting us through. Honestly, ask yourself today, sit there and look at yourself personally and say to yourself, do you have, say, 100 CD? You don't have it. I know that for a fact because most people think we're joking, but there are over 80% of the population now that are starving. When I say starving, they can't eat 2 meals a day. Forget 3 square meals. They can't eat 2 meals a day. People are actually buying 1 kg and sharing it among 3 people. And even that, nowadays, when people come to visit you at home, you tell them to wait, you're having a meeting inside. No, you're eating. But you can't invite them because the food is not enough for you to share with the people. And we are just looking on instead of calling a spade a spade. Look, let me ask you something, right? You know the electricity situation, right? Yeah. If we had 2,500 megawatts and all of a sudden we have 5,000 megawatts, what stopped us from selling the excess capacity to our neighbors? Even if we decided to increase the electrification by 1 kilometer a day to our neighbors, in 365 days, we would have covered 365 kilometers. And we would have been able to sell the electricity at premium and giving our people what they deserve. Because by right, we've just appointed useless people. In all fairness, we've appointed useless people.
Harvey, you can tell that his that anecdote about telling people you are having a meeting while you are eating sounds like it's based on a true story. Yes, Harvey says me sitting here, I should look at myself. Do I have 100 CDs? Charlie, it's true, I don't have. Send Mumu. All right, let's talk to Kofi in Osu. Hi, Kofi, good morning.
Bobo, good morning.
Hey, Bobo, Charlie, how is everything?
So far as we have life, we'll keep moving.
Amen. Talk to us, Kofi.
Do you know the expenses of their Zoom meeting? I think last year or this year. Do you have any account on that?
How much they spent on Zoom meetings?
Sure.
No.
I'd like you to find out.
Okay. All right.
We have electricity and we supply electricity to other countries, isn't it?
Do we? Yeah. Yes. Yes.
But what are we saying today? You see, basic life, when you talk of basic life, water, electricity, foodstuffs, transportation, those things should be at least in a basic form for every Ghanaian to enjoy. But we are seeing it to be wickedness to the citizens. We are seeing it to be wickedness. If now I'm using my salary to pay for T&T for the month, what am I depending on? No water, no electricity has come yet. And they are telling us what? When they even started the maintenance, they told us that it was maintenance that they are doing. Now look at what they are telling us. We should pay for. We have totally wickedness leaders in our country. And we pray for better future. Thank you. Enjoy it.
Thank you, Kofi. Thanks for calling. Our very own Auntie Ya is on the line from Odoko. Auntie Ya, good morning.
Good morning, Kojo. Kojo, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
And good morning to the team.
Yes.
Kojo, you give 4% increment as salary, and you've not yet even paid. You are asking for 148% and 300% increment in electricity alone. Kojo, 4% and 300. Look at the difference. I'm asking, are politicians born in Ghana? Hello.
I'm here, Auntie.
Are they born in Ghana? Who gave birth to them? Do they eat our food, drink our water? I think this absurdity must stop. If you put wrong people at the right place, this is what you get. People are here, they are willing to serve, but because they don't have money to campaign, they don't get the right place to work and put policies together. I'm asking again, are politicians born and bred in Ghana? Are they? Do they drink our water? Do they eat our food? Do they put the electricity on? As for this increment, dear, I have the solution. They should visit each and every one, the ministers, and then the presidency. Go and see their bills for 1 month. It will pay up.
Auntie, yeah.
The only language they understand is politicians. Increment. More increase, yeah, after independence. We are still increasing and things are not getting better. So what's the next solution? God, we pray. Grant them wisdom. We ask for wisdom. And you know, those who are not supposed to be where they are, just block them out. People are dying. We go for loans. If you go to Kolebu Koto, you will weep. There are no beds. When the ambulance comes, a patient has to stay inside the ambulance. They will tell you no beds. So where are the loans? Yes, Sekano where he go the Sekano where he both sides Sekano where he all the natural resources Sekano where he only what they do is to put their people in these key positions, pay them bigger bonuses, better. Look, I don't know the CEOs. Last I was listening, look at the salary. They give what is DSTV. Would that person think DSTV allowance? So when you go to Kolebu, you don't have oxygen for a patient who killed and voted for you. God have mercy.
Auntie, thank you. Let's go to Cape Coast. Prosper, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Kojo.
My brother, what's on your mind?
High inflation, suffering, harsh to citizens. How do we get to this? Did you listen to the finance minister yesterday?
I did.
This is arrogance, intimidation, greed, lies, empty boasts. This should help the citizens. We are suffering. Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prosper, for sharing your thoughts. Thanks to all of you who have called us. We really appreciate it. Right. Twitter?
Yes, some of the messages are already in, so I sure should be able to share these ones with you. The question here, Dominic says, since the days of my grandfather and my own short life on earth, each tariff increment has failed to bring with it promised reliability. The promises prepaid meters were going to generate more instant revenues and as a result improve reliability. Didn't happen. Eugene Pipra says ECG, they have never given us a better service. They always say we should pay more for a better service. Atselasi says we will pay more and still experience doom so. And Sedem Badasu say, I am only willing to pay more if what I've been paying or will be paying would be used judiciously and for the intended purpose. I don't see how increment in utility has been tied to debt while ESLA has been increased and extended by the current government. That's Sedem Badasu. Now, Robert Jau says, the problem isn't how much we pay, it's the institution that's not functioning. And it's supposed to be as it's supposed to be. So even if we pay billions a day, it will be the same. Kindaib says, please, this is what the power producers always tell us. Anytime they want us to increase tariffs after the poor service continues. As I write, my lights are off. Yesterday too, it went for 3 hours with no explanation. There are a few more messages that I sure should add to on the Ken Oforiata commentary anyway.
Yeah.
Now, Adrenal Greatness says, instead of your government listening to the poor, you have turned on deaf ear and not to listen to anyone. Instead of doing things well, you gave the people traffic-like education in the name of free SHS. Funny government. And Akoswa says, when you let power consume you, you think that you're on top of the world. So, Kenofirata, you were viewing our opinions on the E-levy as noise, right? The Ahomasori people are doing big chunk of imported ego coming straight from space. Hashtag Joyous SMS. And Dennis Papiri says, so Ghanaians are making noise, eh? Okay, 2024 will certainly come. Nagaja says, when he was going around the country begging Ghanaians to accept the E-levy, for me, never break the calabash that you once used to drink water. You might need it another day.
All right. Now, I promised one of the callers that I would give him an answer to his question. He wanted to know whether a bank, some bank or the other, gave Ghana a few $100 million. Well, we have all the money we got for COVID here. The IMF gave us 5.85 billion Ghana cedis. The World Bank gave us 2.58 billion Ghana cedis. European Union gave us 504 million Ghana cedis. African Development Bank gave us 405.65 million Ghana cedis. Korea gave us 349 million Ghana cedis. Germany gave us 280.99 million Ghana cedis. Government of Ghana itself gave 4.51 billion Ghana cedis. The contingency fund also gave 1.2 billion Ghana cedis, and the Bank of Ghana gave 10 billion Ghana cedis. So altogether, the money we received to help us manage COVID was 25.59 billion Ghana cedis.
So these are funding sources from 2020 and 2021 budget.
That's right. That's right. And essentially, without this, the hole we would have been in would have been even bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, before we go on a break, there's just something that I've realized. You know, David Ofosu-Dorte said it. He said that we insulate our leaders from the problems that we want them to solve. Well, actually, this is something that I said in 2015. You remember when I did the Upside Down Republic thing? Yeah, I talked about how we put our leaders in V8s so they don't fill the potholes. We give them security guards so they don't know how unsafe our streets are. We give them chefs and cooks, and we pay for their fuel, their electricity, so they don't know what the Ghanaian is going through. You see, what we have done with our leaders in Ghana is a massive mistake, and somebody somewhere needs to start the process of turning this mistake around. Do you know what it's like? We're a poor country. We're a third world country. We're struggling. We can't pay our bills. But what we've done is that the people who came to beg us for a job to serve us, we have given them
far more than we can even
immunity
afford
from our problems. It's like, Raymond, you go and hire, and by the way, the reason why we did this is because we didn't want them to steal from us, right? So it's like, I've gone to hire a house help. I don't want the house help to steal from me. So I'm paying the house help more than my own salary.
Yeah.
I'm paying the house help more than I earn. Why would the house help serve me? If he or she earns more than I do, why will they serve me? In the end, I will serve them.
And see, with the belief that when you give them more, they are likely to give back more and produce more.
No.
But the evidence suggests that in our part of the world, they only end up taking more when you give them more. Clearly. They only prevent you from even participating in the process. You the stakeholder, you had elected people or recruited them. But the recruited appears to be more prosperous than the stakeholder.
That's the point.
So they stopped working for you.
They came to you and they begged you. They said, please, let me serve you. I beg you, let me serve you. Just choose me and I'll serve you. We chose them. Then we paid them more than we are earning. The person who is there to serve us, we won't eat, but we'll give them food to eat for free. we can't fuel our car, but we'll fuel their car. We'll give them cars and fuel the cars for them. They came to serve us. You know, so why are we surprised that this is the outcome? If they are sick, they'll fly their people out of the country. And they'll tell us that we are making noise.
We would never have done senior high school if we listened to other people. That's 400,000 lives now, that have a chance to do something. We would have stopped short at e-levy because of the noise. And suddenly we have a tax handle that will be phenomenally important for the country. So we need to look at that.
Yekoye ni mana yechi obi atwen se ne boss be yi ne di cause sika no law ko bisa so mesi tro class ye fura na yesi petrol ya tutu mo meti bottom minti bottle kura won pese wait be kom kasa pra ko twen se o se be bom minti oheni ko pia bosia straight obedom oba mpeyi ye ma watrase eviase wo bie ni mwano ate be hwe so a wo ye papa krache I hope say baby $1 ne du no waso ate internet e bo ne tuan kola fees sikeni a woni mu hia was ya gish economy ne mu mpiti su grease e komti na Ghana for dodo ni DSTV pocket money the de kokwan so atoriente mesi me maso ye bi obi afra no so a ye fresi wan so wo man ne sese ya sese ye na so this yi for mu nya ready a je mu boko for ma mafia wuni akoma wuni mu abia ngogina ne pado mu nka hu se atwa ya kwan so poto se singota mu assemblyman ti baby ta kontomo assembly ko fi wa yo kaya wo bua obi eni ko bompo a ye de tompo bua ibola so de no wadi ohi abuburo ye da so atim edu abato ana mo hwe obi enim ahokyera ne ba na wo yi ne ho afim sese de prepaid ye bu ne tot ECJ fon so ye besi am court dollar hunti nkofo de maka pot obi ambobo sia ko so obi aye hot Ghana economy ne nim celebrity cause pineapple juice ne nam service nyame photo nya saben na mini bi wo man na tete menu a what a pity yentie jima fuaka oko kanso a homa so aba